Hi everyone, this is Balázs from RacingBrick. Today's video is the second 2026 Speed Champions movie car review, and apparently this is the one everyone has been waiting for, the 77256 Time Machine from Back to the Future. No DeLorean in the official name, but we all know exactly what this car is. I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. I literally watched the trilogy as a kid on VHS until the tapes wore out, so I'm very happy to see a new LEGO version. In today's video, I will unbox the set, show you all the interesting quirks and features of the build process, then review the finished model and compare it to previous LEGO interpretations. If you don't want build spoilers, feel free to use the timestamps below. The front of the box shows the time machine in action. Unfortunately, LEGO flames are not included this time. The back shows the flying mode from the end of the first movie with Mr. Fusion installed. The two modes are shown separately, and as the text confirms, you cannot build them simultaneously. There's also a close-up of the interior. Let's open it up. The set has 357 pieces, the price is 28 euros or dollars, and it will be available from the 1st of January. For local prices and details, check the link in the description or in the pinned comment. We get 5 numbered bags, some loose parts, a small sticker sheet and the manual. Just like with the Lightning McQueen set, the manual begins with a comparison spread. Nice to see the real movie car since it's missing from the box. Here is the part list if you are interested. Now let's start building. We begin with one axle, then the car base and two special red 2x4 bricks with axle holes. The second axle is added next, along with some interior details. After the first set of wheel arches, we add the special printed trans blue pieces representing the flux bands. This is the build at the end of bag 1. The next assembly is unusual, a tile with 8 1x1 headlight bricks. We also meet a brand new 1x4 slope, extending the 30-degree slope family. This whole assembly is mounted upside down to form the rear bumper, complete with a sticker DeLorean logo. After adding the big side brackets, we build more interior details, including the most important one, the flux capacitor, represented by a printed window element. This is how it looks once installed. The seats clip in next, and then some Technic parts are added at the rear to simulate the machinery. End of bag 2. We continue detailing the rear. There's a very cool printed piece for the nuclear reactor. We also get minifigs skates and lots of other gribbling, including another new slope, a 1x3 version. Rear lights are stacked sideways, with a printed G-slope as the final piece. The construction of the cooling vents is very accurate and looks great. The last sub-assembly in this stage uses both stickered and printed pieces. A large sticker tile goes on the side with several parts attached. It looks a little odd. Another long slope follows, plus the rear view mirror. The time circuits are thankfully on a printed element and look fantastic. The smaller gauges next to it are stickered though. One piece was supposed to be black, had to swap it on the other side as well. The front uses lots of stacked brackets and plates, and now we can open the final bag. The hood is flat and fully tiled. Fans will have opinions about that. Here's the printed windscreen piece, and yes, I also hope the gaps in front will be covered. We extend the hood using a very different building technique. Then comes a white solution for the headlights, mirrored prints on a window element mounted sideways, flux bands covering the lower half, and the sticker DMC logo on a 3-stud white slope. A tiny 1x1 band segment goes in next. And then comes the challenge of fitting the 22 module long flexible hose, tricky but doable. More band elements follow, then sand green pieces representing the Freon tubes for the emergency cooling system. Only one can fit at this scale. Bands are connected, the rear frame is added, and now we need to choose which version to build. Let's start with the classic one. The reactor gets the yellow cap and there's a printed license plate for the rear. A fishing rod goes in here, then we assemble the wheels with very cool printed covers. And that's the first variant finished. The second version isn't too different, thankfully. Fishing rod and yellow part off, Mr. Fusion goes on with a printed element. The annoying part is the license plate swap. Removing the top piece helps access. Wheels come off and attach to clips with half pins. It's easier to place the mounts first, then add the wheels, and here is the flying version. Now the minifigures, we get 2 thankfully, probably compensating for the missing one in the Lightning McQueen set. We get Marty and Doc Brown, both with new printed torsos, nicely detailed but unprinted legs. Marty's iconic vest was introduced last year. I'm sure they already had this set in mind. Both have dual faces. Doc even has the patch on his forehead, though you need a different torso for full accuracy. Now for the model, here's what I like. The front looks good, with clever part usage for the headlights. The sticker DMC logo is the only downside. The long flex tube from front to rear is great, the printed flux bands look fantastic all around. The windscreen has positives too, the shaping is quite good. The tachyon pulse generator is reused from the first set, and the rear is easily the best part, tons of detail, great shaping, printed parts and accurate lights. Really impressive for this scale. The interior also looks nice with many details and the important instruments are printed. Both minifigures fit and there is no problem with the windscreen when the minifigures are seated in the car. Now the downsides. First, the flat hood. The real car's slanted hood is extremely iconic. I understand the technique choices, but the silhouette ends up a bit off. Second, the gap between the curved windscreen and angled tiles, it is very visible and distracting. L-shaped tiles would fix it, but hide the dashboard, it is an easy fix for modders. Another thing, the rebuild needed for flying mode, understandable for the looks but still a downside. What I cannot forgive however is the print quality on these otherwise excellent wheel covers. The prints are not properly centered, quality control should catch these issues. The most debated aspect of the set will be the absence of the iconic gullwing doors. This is a Speed Champions car, and I do not see how a stable and visually appealing solution could have been achieved without creating entirely new parts. I wish it included the doors, but I do not think a custom mold made solely for this car would make it a better LEGO set. I have seen mocks with some solutions, but I am concerned they are not truly playable. This is still a 9+ playset after all, so stability is quite important. The build is sturdy overall, although you should not lift it by these curved band pieces, those are attached by a single stud. Now let's compare this with earlier LEGO Time Machines. It started with the 2013 Kuzo/Ideas set, more than a decade old, and the evolution is obvious. Some things haven't changed, but overall the new one is far more refined. The Kuzo set included all 3 versions though, whereas the new one weirdly stops at episode 2, or we can say that everything you get here is technically still in episode 1. I wonder how many extra parts an episode 3 mode would have required. The minifigs are definitely better now, though the old set had a skateboard. I bricklinked the 2015 Dimensions version too. The car is extremely schematic, but I love the hoverboard and the guitar. Brickheads don't really count here, so let's jump to the 2022 Icon set. Much bigger, tons of details, opening doors that don't really stay open, a printed DMC logo so it is not a licensing issue, all 3 variants included and minifigs with leg prints. That set is still fantastic. So the new Speed Champions version sits somewhere between these, not fully accurate, but it has charm and it's true to the Speed Champions style. If you want screen accuracy, you need to buy a diecast model anyway. But as a base for modifications, this set truly has a potential. I can't wait to see the replicable scene explode with upgrades. I might need 2 more copies for all variants. LEGO really needs to address the wheel cover print quality though. In the end, I think the pros outweigh the cons. It's one of the most iconic movie cars of all time and the perfect fit for this series. Now LEGO, please give us kit next. You already made a Michael Knight minifigure, the license was right there. Let me know folks what you think about this set, the build solutions, the details, the minifigs. Let's talk about it in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications as more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.